We have some shiny new digs coming your way. The Rams open up the brand new SoFi Stadium against the Dallas Cowboys on Sunday Night Football in Week 1. I'll talk to Jerry Jones and Mike McCarthy a little bit about that coming up in just a bit. The Chargers, they will have their home opener Week 2 against the Chiefs. And speaking of new stadiums, the Raiders, they open Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas Week 2 on Monday Night Football when they host the Saints. Vegas will host 4 primetime games this season. Everybody pumped about that one as well. For more on the schedule, let's get back to Rich Eisen.
Joining us right now, a 15-year veteran in the National Football League and a 2002 Walter Payton Man of the Year, who now, wearing his Legends Community shirt, is the NFL Executive Vice President of Football Operations, none other than Troy Vincent. Troy, I'm wondering, when you were a player, what was the first thing you looked at when the schedule came out and hit your hands?
When I was in Miami, when we're going to play Buffalo, and when Philly, looked at those 2 Cowboy matchups. And then at that time, it was like a treat to play on Monday Night Football because everyone didn't have that opportunity. There wasn't a rotation. And in Miami, we were playing on Monday Night Football about three times a season. So those are the kind of things my eyes went to. And then, okay, if we were going to travel west, who were we playing? And was it a night game or an early game?
And that's pretty much what I think many of the current Dolphins might be thinking about the Patriots instead of the Bills, although the Bills are definitely coming on strong. And obviously, I think the Eagles, more things change, more they stay the same when you're talking about that. So let's hit a little bit on the real world. Many people might be watching this schedule release show, and you're the perfect person to ask since you are in charge of football operations about how we will be playing the schedule and when we will be playing the schedule potentially, if not Week 1. Can you tell me what your thinking is and the league's thinking is on this subject as we're sitting here?
Yes. Well, the plan is to move forward as normal, to play a full season, a full schedule, until the medical community tells us otherwise. And that's been our approach from day one, Rich, is whether it was the draft, let's just make sure we're responsible. We're doing proper planning, but on a daily basis, because the things could change daily. Let's just make sure we're responsible. Any guidelines as it pertains to what the governor's orders are for the stay-home policies, let's just make sure that we're aligned. We're following those guidelines. And that's been the approach as we look at our virtual off-season, as we look and prepare for training camp and regular season. We're preparing as a league to play a full season.
And in terms of adjusting as we go along here, I mean, so many people are going to be looking for any nest eggs, if you will, within this schedule to see if it could be cut in half, cut in thirds, cut in 2/3 at all. Is there another schedule that might be out there, or this is about it, and we'll adjust off of what we're seeing here revealed tonight?
No, this is it. Unless Howard Katz has that he hadn't shared with myself or the team. This is the schedule. We're excited about this schedule. We do our proper contingency planning, no, there's no other schedule unless Howard's going to drop something on the world tonight that we're not all aware of.
No, I think we're not planning on doing any more release than just the 4-hour show we're doing right now, Troy. So I appreciate the time.
Yep,
yeah, it
thank
should
you.
be. No, you bet. Right back at you as well. And that's Troy Vincent, the man in charge of football operations, the EVP of the National Football League in that department, right here on NFL Network.
In the air and picked off by Bradham.
It's hard to focus with my fans right now. We're all biting our nails on the sideline. There's nothing we can do, and the defense stepped up.
Zerline missed it.
Contributed Paul Allen. I think that Paul blew it on that one. Looks a little bit to the right.
Kittle breaks one tackle. Another. Wow, what a touchdown.
It's a big second helping.
Let's go! Here's another pick. Harris again into the end zone.
When you have a good game like this, they look at you as a hero, and it means a lot to me.
He keeps again. Tackle missed. Touchdown, Trubisky.
It's losing. We've got to win a football game.
Lamar keeps. He's got the record.
Lost He'll watch his highlight. I'll go on YouTube and watch all the greats. And it's an honor to break his record.
Thursday Night Football did not disappoint last year. This schedule right here was the first thing I looked for when I got my hands on the schedule release. And look, you got Week 2, Burrow and Baker out of the gate. Week 5, depending on how things shape up, a potential Tom Brady-Nick Foles rematch of Super Bowl 52, guys. Big NFC East matchup there in Week 7 with the Giants in Philadelphia. Cowboys and Ravens in Baltimore, Week 13. Christmas Day, how about this one? Vikings at Saints. And look, the Niners, they are always in the mix. There were some fireworks last year on Halloween in Arizona. Of course, they're hosting the Packers Week 9 this year. And I got a lot to talk about here with General Manager John Lynch and Head Coach Kyle Shanahan. I don't even know where to begin, quite frankly, with your schedule because I think it's one of the most interesting out there. And I'm not just saying that because you guys are on camera right now. But I want to start at the end. Week 17 was what jumped out at me. You got the Seahawks again. And, Coach, I'm going to start with you on this one because, look, that had to be incredibly stressful coming down to the final play for the division, for playoff seeding. I'm sure that you were, happily surprised maybe to see that it's on the schedule again this year.
It doesn't surprise me. I know that's fun to watch. I know that's football as good as it gets. It's not always good for my heart, my family's heart. Everyone on our team are fans, but I know everyone enjoys it, so it doesn't surprise me at all. I'm just happy that this time it'll be in San Francisco.
Yeah. Hey, look, Dre Greenlaw coming up huge there. Maybe he does again this year. Now, John, I want to ask you this one because 4 primetime games at home, that's the most in the league, tied with the Raiders. It's you and them. It's got to be nice to see the biggest games played out at your place.
Absolutely. We love Levi's over the last couple of years really become a home field advantage for us. And I think last year really came into its own as a stadium where we truly do have that home field advantage. Our fans are tremendously faithful. And, our guys love playing in front of the world. And we'll have that opportunity ample times. And we'll also be able to do that at home. And that's always fun.
Coach, just looking at that rough stretch there, weeks 8, 9, 10. Actually, if you go back to 7 with the trip to New England, you got Seattle after that. Then you have the Packers, a rematch of the NFC Championship game. You got the Saints in there, a rematch of probably one of the best games last season. What did you look at on the schedule that really jumped out to you? Because that jumped out to me.
Well, yeah, that's the obvious tough stretch right there. And I used to do that a lot. When I first got into the NFL, and I would base off, all right, this team's real good, this team's not as good, and you go through all that, and then you get into the season and you learn half the stuff year to year flips, injuries completely change, so if it's after week 4, who knows what team you're going to have compared to week 1 when injuries happen. So I rarely, through experience when schedules come out, I rarely look at how many tough teams you have in a row or where that tough stuff is because it changes year to year. My biggest thing is I always want to know when the Thursday game is, who you have, whether it's home or away, how many Monday night games, how many Sunday night games, how many trips you got to travel through 2 time zones in. That's a really big deal for us being on the West Coast. How many days you have to recover on some of those tough times. When's your bye week and when's your Thursday game so you can plan on the recovery throughout the whole year. That's the stuff, to me, that's the biggest thing in the schedule. Yeah, you always want to look at how good the teams are and where that all matches up and whether you're playing in the beginning, middle, or the end. But no one knows what the team's going to be or what your opponent's going to be until that time comes because NFL changes too much.
Yeah, it's tough too considering, weeks 2 and 3, you have back-to-back games at MetLife Stadium too. So, John, when you look at that on the schedule, you still have a little bit of time, I guess, to prepare, but would you stay on the East Coast? How do you kind of figure out what you're going to do there?
You're always, we do a lot of traveling in the NFC West and where we are. And last year we had great success. We opened the season in Tampa and then went to Cincinnati. In between, we stayed out in Youngstown. So that was good to us. Those 10 a.m. starts, if you allow it to be, can be rough on your team. We don't make any excuses, but we do try to prepare. And a great way to try to counteract some of those negative effects is to stay out there. So believe me, as soon as it came out, we started looking at spots, and we're looking at some different venues that will host us, and with pretty sure we're going to stay out east, and that really does it helps our team because you eliminate travel, and you also eliminate that 10 a.m. start, that early start that can be rough if you allow it to be.
Yeah, nobody likes jet lag, I guess, especially when you're playing an NFL game. All right, well, the season is filled with adventures for you guys. Best of luck and stay safe out there. We are going to keep it in the division. Coming up here on NFL Network, there he is, the head coach of the Los Angeles Rams. He's going to join Rich Eisen live to talk about the path